Hi guys, welcome to the Honeystocks.com analysis on Facebook. Over the last 24 hours, I've had a lot of emails, messages, social media comments, and so forth asking for an analysis on the Facebook trade, the big Facebook trade that one of my clients has nailed the last 24 hours. And I just want to start off by saying that this video is going to be completely ridiculous. There is no way that any of you watching this will ever achieve this. I don't want to give anybody the impression that this is normal. This will never happen again. You will never do this. I will never do this. This is a one-off freak event. But I feel like I need to document it because of just the incredible nature and the thought process that went behind this trade, which I have to say, David called it out well in advance. Some of my guys also got on board with this trade, and it's been, as you can see, incredible. And those numbers, like I said, I it's ridiculous. But I'm going to get into this and just answer the questions. And of course, I want to be able to prove to everybody that this actually happened. So I actually have the the account in question so that we can verify this. But before I get started, for those of you that follow me every week, follow my content, you all know by now to read this important stuff. Disclaimer: I'm not telling you how to trade or to follow the tactics in this video, but please pause the video. So first up, definitely proof of the trade. I think that's where I need to start. So this is a screenshot of David's trade. As you can see there, absolutely absurd, nearly 6,000% return. Trade was taken on Thursday the 13th of June with an expiry of the 21st. We can see there that he picked up the contracts for just under 7.5 grand, and today he sold them for 430. Sorry, I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but anyway, so this was obviously an inexpensive play. It was very clearly risk defined, and he only gambled what he could afford to lose. Now that's absolutely key. Um, Now, the style of trade that was utilised for this one is a swing style trade. Now, most of you that follow my work closely, you will all understand that I'm primarily a trend follower. Quite a lot of my guys, myself, we do incorporate swing style trades in those types of sideways moving markets. So this Facebook trade, just to categorize it, was a swing style trade. Now, what I want to walk you through is the chart, the entry, the technical setup, why it was such a good speculation play, the risk involved, and as I touched on just a second ago, the style of the trade as well. Now, first up is the chart. Now, the chart itself is very, very straightforward. Now, again, those of you that follow me closely, you understand just how clean I like to keep my work. And certainly for the purposes of the analysis, Facebook had a very clear support level in play. We also had the key 200-day simple moving average. We also have momentum. And certainly when the trade was taken, we had got a very clear bounce from this very key support level in the market. Now, that was absolutely critical to the entry into the market because quite often when we observe key support levels in the market, we really want to be taking the trade at the lower end of the consolidation range and riding it to the top. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but what they do offer is a very good risk to reward proposition. And again, that was key to taking the trade. There was a very clear support level, as I touched on, and the bet is very, very simple. The support level is going to hold, and we're going to ride the trade as long as possible, and hopefully it just goes as far as possible as well. And that's essentially what happened. We had the 200 MA act as support. started to move off, and then lo and behold, we just got the momentum coming in. We have our price target in place now. We didn't quite get there, but at the time of me just back testing the analysis and so forth, price was trading at $192, which is roughly where David exited. Uh, I think intraday it started to drop a little bit, but certainly when it comes to trade management, it was very well managed and maximum profit was extracted from the trade, which again was absolutely critical, especially with options. Now, that's certainly the technical side of things. The other side of things was the fundamental side. Now, some of you will be aware that Facebook announced that a new cryptocurrency, and at the time that this technical play was taking effect, we also had the fundamentals come in. We also had a news-driven environment. Now, what we have in that kind of scenario is really just you've just got all the stars aligning perfectly for a strong, sustained move to the upside, and that's exactly what we got. We got the momentum come in. Price obviously started to rise quite rapidly, and certainly on Monday, the trade was sitting at around, I think, $141,000 in profit, and certainly there was a post into the group saying, essentially, what do you guys think of this? And the response unanimously was this announcement tomorrow is going to drive even more momentum in. And I think at the time I said that this trade is going to make, between $200,000 and $300,000. Now, as it transpired, the trade obviously made $430,000, which is incredible, life-changing sums of money. And I'm incredibly proud that one of my clients was able to achieve something so incredible. And like I said before, this is a once in a lifetime trade. This isn't something that you are going to be able to achieve. I don't want to give that impression. There's many get rich quick con artists out on the internet parading on YouTube and so forth, telling you that you can go and make 10% a day and all that nonsense. That's just not the way trading works. Certainly with options, it obviously can have a massive effect on your returns if you're good at it, like David is. But by and large, most of you out there will never ever achieve the kind of numbers that I'm talking about at the moment. And certainly when we look at the fundamental side of things, the one thing that everybody needs to consider is the risk involved. Now, this was effectively a speculation play. So with those types of plays, again, only bet what you can afford to lose. The general standard, which you'll see, from most professionals, most educators, and so forth, is the 2% rule. I think it's widely known, but certainly with options, it's absolutely valid to take that down a notch. I think when I observe the success of my options traders, I think the one thing that they all do the same is they all define their risk from the outset. Now, I'm not telling you to go and define your risk, but the one thing that you need to be comfortable with is if your option expires worthless, it can't be a big deal to your overall account. That will ensure longevity, and it just means that if you get it wrong, which you absolutely will most of the time, that you will not take any massive hits to your account. But obviously, when you get it right, the rewards are massive if you get everything bang on the money. So certainly, if you want longevity, you need to define the risk for your trade, and that's certainly what David did. He only bet what he could afford to lose. Now, I do actually have some words of wisdom from the man himself. He was kind enough to post to the group and just gave his feedback on certainly what his thought process was in a bit more detail. He's an exceptionally accomplished trader. That's the one thing that I need to say. He uses the trend following strategy. He also has swing trading in his locker as well. and I'm just immensely proud of him and what he's accomplished. And these are his words. Um, yeah, so what he's basically saying here is it's about quality, not quantity. That's something that I drill into absolutely everybody. It's also important to plan ahead for the trade. Now, I'm not going to read this out word for word, but basically what he's saying here is that the trade that he'd taken with the 7.5 grand outlay was actually paid for by a trade that he had taken in the week leading up to the position that he'd taken that ultimately made him 430 grand. So he was actually playing with money that was already profit, and he was quite comfortable essentially just doubling down and just saying, okay, I've done well here. How far can I take this? And when the stars aligned, he just put, I think, in horse racing terms, I think it's called just putting everything on the nose. And that's exactly what he did. And he came up winning big. Now, he's also saying that he is not the smartest person in the room. I think that's the one thing that you need to be with the stock market. You always need to be humble all the time because your little position size means nothing. The technical analysis that you do on your chart, that I do on my chart, means absolutely nothing. We are constantly at the mercy of Wall Street. And all we can really do is, if you're a technical trader, is really identify optimal entries and, hope for the best. And certainly when it comes to the stock market, I think if you are a trader and obviously not an investor, I think when you have the understanding that you are defining your risk, you've got your stop losses in place, and you're just managing your trade correctly, then you will generally start to see a little bit more consistency. And for a lot of traders, it actually takes a few years to get consistency. There's many of you out there that are maybe watching this and thinking to yourself that, I can go and do this. I just need to go and sign up for, honeystocks.com, and I'll tell you now that this will not be achievable. And certainly that is the way that you need to approach the market. You always need to be humble. There might be a day in the future where you get incredibly comfortable with options and you start to build up position size, but that's something that takes time. You need to be able to demonstrate consistency and then start to build it up. And David's final words: study your trades, plan ahead, and don't be afraid to follow your plan to achieve maximum profits, even if people tell you it's impossible, which is what I've just done. I've told you that what has just happened is impossible for most of you to achieve. But you never know. I'd love for one of you to prove me wrong. If any of you out there watching this can demonstrate a trade that takes 5,000-6,000% return, then I'd love for you to comment below. I'd love for you to post a screenshot of the trade, whatever you want to do. But the one thing that I think most of us that understand is that over trading will never pay you well. I think if you can get out of the habit of over trading and identifying quality over quantity, then you'll start to see again that consistency start to creep in a little bit. Now, I think certainly with Honeystocks.com, that the style that we have is, as I said before, we are primarily trend followers, but we do adapt to market conditions. We swing trade where appropriate. We don't do signal services. We don't do get rich quick schemes. But what we are is very technically focused, and like I said before, very much quality over quantity. And most of you know who I am. I'm Sam. Like I said, I run Honeystocks.com. I am currently studying towards my chartered market technician designation at the moment, working my way towards level 1. And certainly, those exams are the gold standard for technical analysis, and that's certainly the route that I'm going down. And there's only 4,000 approximately CMTs in the world, and I absolutely hope to make that 4,001. But certainly that's really what we do at Honeystocks.com. We're very much technically focused. We have an understanding that technical analysis definitely 100% has a place and a value in the stock market. I know there's probably many of you investors out there saying you can't time the market and all that nonsense, and you can. Now, certainly that is really the analysis of the Facebook trade that I know that many of you wanted to see, just exactly how it was done and what happened there. But if you are interested in learning the honeystocks.com approach in its fullest, and you perhaps want to explore the possibility of coming on board and being part of our community, just jump onto our website, have a look around, check us out. And if it looks interesting to you, then by all means get in touch with us. But if you've stuck around to the end, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you guys can get the 5,000-6,000% returns too.